First question from, it looks like Hayne Link. Wayne, excuse me. If you could ask your question, please.
I'd like to direct a question to Jeff Cline. While it's important for us to have Christian values, do you think it's important for teachers to express those values during the course of teaching in a school while they put the school board and the school district at financial risk because of a lawsuit?
Well, as it stands today, with the separation of church and state, the law is you can't preach religion from the classroom. As we stand there today with that law, as bogus as I think the church and state is, we have to agree with it for now. But I think as people in our communities, we need to start challenging that. I'm not saying we have to preach in the classroom, but I'm saying if a kid comes to me in a gymnasium, life's a mess, and I'm in a gymnasium as a high school baseball coach, and the kid says, "Coach, help me." As a Christian, what do I do? At that point, I have a couple of them incidents that happened at East Knox. Very great honoring situations for me as a Christian. As I took my hat off, I asked the kid, I said, "Do you believe in God?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Do you pray?" He said, "Sometimes." I said, "Do you go to church?" He said, "Sometimes, not very often." I said, "Well, let me tell you something." He's given me the situation of his mom lives in the Carolinas, drug addict, alcoholic. Dad is home, he's living with him, full-blown drunk. The boy's always late, he's always angry, he's always irritated. I've seen this for months. So I offered this to the kid. Separation Church stays at this point with me is out the window. I said, "Young man, I'll tell you what I'll do." I said, "I will pray for your mom." I believe that also as somebody in the past with alcohol and drug problems, 15 years clean, God could deliver you from that. He said, "You really think so, Coach?" I said, "Yes, I do, young man." I said, "So I would pray for your mom. And that I'll pray for her later." He looked at me and says, "Right now?" So what do I do at this point? As a Christian, as a leader, a mentor, and a coach, I said, "Yes, take your hat off." I did it at that point at a drinking fountain at gymnasium. Never disrupted practice, but was called on the carpet a month later. But a month later, this kid comes in to me one day smiling. First time I seen a smile on his face. It was probably 2, 3, 4 weeks later. I don't know, roughly time frame. I said, "Doug, what's up today?" He said, "Coach," he said, "you ain't gonna believe this. My mom called me." Now that night he was half hour to practice. It was 2 hours of punching holes in the wall and cussing. This is a young man, irritated at life. He comes into me and he says, "Coach, my mom's gonna quit drinking and doing drugs, and I'm gonna move in with her." I said, "Thank you, Jesus." He said, "You're right, it worked." So at this point, what do? You know what I mean? I either honor man's law or honor God's law. At that point, I chose to do the right thing, and it was the right thing for that young man. So that's where I stand on issues like that. Not saying we have to stand up and preach out of the Bible in the classrooms. I've been asked that a couple times. But as a Christian, if you've got certain moral values and certain convictions, stand for them. That's the way I see it.
Sir, you have a Constitution there. Could you read the Constitution?
All of it?
No. just the part pertaining to religion, exercise of religion. There's two parts in this constitutional clause. There's two parts. One is the free exercise clause, and one is the establishment clause. The first clause says, the first part of it says that
Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion,
right, and the second part,
or prohibiting the free exercise thereof.
Now, we've heard a whole lot about establishment, but we haven't heard hardly anything about exercise of. And you could say that there's a contradiction here. Because on the one hand, it says the government can't establish a religion, and in the intent of the framers, that was the government can't start a government-mandated religious denomination like they had in England. The second one says that you can't interfere with the exercise of religion. Most of the things that I've seen in the last 25 years, 30 years, have been interference with the exercise of religion. But nobody brings that up because we don't want to promote religion. We want to suppress it. So the powers that be. Anyway, that's my 2 cents.
Thank you for bringing it up.
Huh?
Thank you for bringing it up.